Hello, my name is Peter and welcome back to the series where we're looking at all the Home Alone films in the Home Alone film franchise. This time we're looking at Home Alone 4, which came out in 2002, 5 years after Home Alone 3 came out. So Home Alone 4 was the first Home Alone film to be made as a television film. It was made for the channel ABC, therefore it doesn't have a box office, so I can't tell you any information about that, but let's get on to the film itself. The story revolves around Kevin, so we're going back to the McAllisters, but it's with an entirely new cast. So we open up at the McAllisters' house, and the father, called Peter, is getting divorced from the mum. We all remember them too. He's living with his new girlfriend, who's very rich, called Natalie. So Peter comes over and tells his children that him and Natalie are hosting at Natalie's big mansion, for this royal family. So Kevin originally says no because he wants to stay with his mum, but after getting really annoyed by Buzz, he decides that, yeah, I'm gonna go and spend Christmas with my father in a really big house. He just goes. He just walks out the house and he goes to the mansion. He gets this big room, load of gadgets and all these TV screens, and they actually look really annoying. I can't see how you would actually use that as a practical TV. Anyway, so Natalie and Peter go out the next morning while Kevin stays at the mansion with Natalie's butler, Mr. Prescott, and the maid, Molly. While Natalie and Peter are still away, Kevin looks through a telescope and sees Marv and his new wife, Vera. So Marv is this one, yeah? And he used to look like this, yeah? And now he's got married, yeah, so that happened. They don't really explain their plan properly, or at least I didn't pick up on it correctly. But from what I heard, they had a plan to kidnap the boy from the royal family that are coming to visit Natalie. Marv has also been able to get his hands on one of these remote control speaker things, basically the keys to the house, because Natalie says,
"This is a smart house, Kevin. It does whatever you tell it to."
You can open curtains, doors, windows with this little remote control thing. So Marv gets his hands on one of these things and just literally just walks into the house with his wife Vera. Manages to flood the house from the bathroom. Yeah, that looked expensive actually. That did look expensive. Marv realises that it's Kevin and they have this, like, I don't know why, it was just cringy for me, them talking, like, oh hi Marv, oh hi Kevin, long time no see, no. So Kevin's standing there, downstairs in like the hall or whatever, wherever they are, there's water everywhere, and Kevin just looks at Marv, and Marv just says, right, we'll be back then, bye. Kevin doesn't do anything, he has no trick up his sleeve, he doesn't smack him with a shovel. He just stands there and lets them walk out, and then when Peter and Natalie come back, he's just standing there cleaning up the little rubber duckies that are floating about the water, and he says the criminals are back, and they don't believe him, of course. I feel like I've been talking about this film for ages, and it's only like 20 minutes in. So they're having a party for the royal family, and Peter and Natalie go to pick them up, and Kevin notices that Marv and Vera are dressed up as caterers. Meanwhile, while Peter and Natalie are collecting the royal family, their flight gets cancelled, so they're unable to attend the party, so Peter and Natalie decide to announce their engagement to the party guests instead, because Natalie wants it to be a really special party. Marv and Vera back at the house are chasing Kevin. He gets hit with a frying pan, and he spills some soup on Marv and Vera. Also, whilst he's spilling the soup, he defies physics. But then they just disappear again. Marv and Vera just disappear, and Kevin is the one to blame, so he gets sent to his room to think about what he's done. So, because no one's listening to him, Kevin decides to deal with the matter himself and sets booby traps. Oh, yeah, well, it says here he sets booby traps. He sets, like, 2 traps. The next morning is Christmas Day. Peter and Natalie go to get the royals. What parents would leave their child home alone on Christmas morning. Who would do that? Why? And why do they both have to go? Dad's excuse is,
You know how sometimes you gotta do things you don't want to do? This is one of those times.
that's no excuse. He's being left home alone on Christmas Day. Ah, it doesn't make sense. So this is the last 10 minutes. So the royal family turn up with Natalie. They all arrive, they see that the criminals are on the floor, and they realise, oh, so Kevin wasn't lying. Oh, he's a hero. What a nice little boy. So they call the police, they all get arrested. So Peter, the dad, apologises to Kevin for not believing in him. And then this really weird thing happens. Peter then just goes to Natalie, I don't love you. Let's break up. I want to be with my wife. And then Prescott resigns as a butler because he doesn't enjoy his job. So Natalie is left, like, she now doesn't have a butler and she doesn't have a fiancé. I mean, that's pretty bad. It doesn't make sense why she gets basically abandoned by all her loved ones. She didn't really do anything wrong. That's Home Alone 4. That took me a while. The problem with this film is the replaced actors. Whilst I was watching this film, I looked at Kevin, I looked at all the previous characters who we'd seen in the first two films, and I just think, well, these aren't the same characters. That's not Marv, that's not Kevin. It's really not believable at all. Oh dear. As I said, this film was a television film, so there was no box office, and I have no information on the budget either. On our good old friend Rotten Tomatoes, the tomatometer is not available for all critics or top critics, but the audience score is 24%. The music was composed by Teddy Castellucci, so again, a completely new soundtrack, and the theme for the opening title wasn't even the original Home Alone theme. So that is Home Alone 4. Of course, in my opinion, this is the worst of the franchise. Oh my days. I think the only thing I was slightly impressed with was the little twist they had, and that little stunt where they flew down the stairs. Yeah, it's our final episode. Next time we're doing Home Alone 5, The Holiday Heist. So what did you think of this film? If you have watched it, please leave a comment saying what you thought of it, how bad you thought it was. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.